Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be showing you 4 different ways that I'm going to try to propagate emerald green arborvitaes as well as green giant arborvitaes. I have cuttings from both of them that came from my yard, and let me show you those 4 different ways that I'm going to be propagating these. So on this table here, I have everything that I'll be needing, and I will talk about each one of the materials I'll be using as I talk about the methods for propagation. So first thing here, I have these shot glasses. This will be for water propagation. Now I'm going to use a cutting for the emerald green and the green giant arborvitae for each of the methods that I try, just to see how those two will match up. Second is going to be the rooting hormone. You can use whatever rooting hormone that you like or have on hand. I will try to find a link for this one down below, but this one has worked well for me with other things that I've tried in the past. Third is going to be the seed starting mix here. I'm going to be using the seed starting mix with the rooting hormone for the second one, but then I'll also just use it by itself, just sticking them right in and seeing how those do. And then the fourth one is going to be using aloe. The reason I'm using aloe is actually the reason I'm making this video in the first place. I saw a viral YouTube video. It has like 5 million views. I'll link it down below if you want to see, but I wouldn't trust it. And they used aloe to propagate arborvitae, and I was kind of like, what the heck, this doesn't seem right. The whole video seemed off, but it just made me think, what are different ways that I actually can propagate arborvitae? So that's what I want to show you today, and we're going to see if the aloe actually does help. So besides the water propagation, I'm going to be using the other 3 methods in this seed starting kit. This is the Grow Ease seed starting kit from Gardener Supply. Same thing with this Grow Light. I will link both of these products down below if you want to take a look at them. They've worked really well for me in the past with seed starting, but I figured this would give them a nice controlled environment where each one of them are the same, and this room is going to be about 65 degrees or so the entire time that I'm in here. The way this works is this cover can come off. There's individual cells here, and then underneath here, there is this moisture wicking mat that'll wick up water from this reservoir underneath, so they will definitely stay consistently moist, but they'll never have too much water in them because they can just drain right back into here. So the first thing to do to get started is I need to cut back these larger branches because this is quite large. I don't need anything this big. The Savvy Dirt Farmer has a really great way of explaining this, so I will link his video down below if you want to check that out. But basically what he did was I'm going to cut this kind of on like a 45. He actually just pulled them right from the branch itself, and then I can kind of cut it about here or so. I've got this whole piece, and then from there I can cut these leaves back quite a bit as well, because we don't need all these ginormous leaves, just small ones. If you have any towards the bottom, you can cut back these leaves. So this is one that is done, and then with this one here, I am going to cut back these smaller leaves here, cut this, and cut this. And then I could make 2 out of this branch. Smells pretty good too. Same process for the emerald green arborvitae. So this one, I think what I'm going to do is cut it back to about here or so. So I've got 2 separate ones, and then I will cut back the leaves towards the bottom. I'll probably cut back this other one too. Give me a little bit more room. Just try to give it a fresh cut, kind of like on a 45. And then these other leaves, I'm just going to be cutting back so they're not so tall. So here is a finished emerald green. And then this one here, I'm going to cut back this big leaf because we don't need that. In fact, that can almost be its own. This I don't think needs to be cut back anymore, but I will just cut it kind of on a 45. And then we got this one done as well. So I've got this pile of the emerald green arborvitaes and then this pile of the green giants. So I'm just going to take care of that with the rest of these, put them into piles, and then we can move on to filling this. So I have all of my arborvitae cuttings done. There's 9 of each one in total. But the next thing I need to do is I have this seed starting mix that needs to be pre-moistened. It'll just make the process a lot easier. So I'm just going to put it into this pot and moisten it first. In the end, you want your soil to clump where you can squeeze it really tight and no water comes out. Now I can just fill up this tray. I might need to mix up some more soil, but I can just fill this up as much as I can for now. I'm going to put this under the grow light, clean up this mess, and then we'll continue to the next step. So for the water propagation, pretty simple. I'm just going to take one emerald green arborvitae and then one green giant arborvitae, stick those in, and these are going to go right off to the side over here so they still get plenty of light. So with the rest of these, I did make these labels. The EG stands for emerald green, the GG is green giant. Obviously the back ones are aloe, middle one is kind of our control with the regular soil, and then the take root is the rooting hormone. Now when I watched that viral video, they stuck the end of an aloe inside the soil and then stuck the arborvitae cutting into that aloe. So I'm just going to do exactly the same that they did. I'll just cut a piece of aloe, stick the arborvitae in that, and have that entire thing in the soil. Just to kind of prove a point to see if it really works or doesn't work, because I'm curious to see myself. So I've got my aloe pieces right here. I'm going to cut one piece off like this, and then let me just cut a second one. And I did cut this side already, so they're both just cut pieces. Let me grab, this is the green giant arborvitae. I will stick it right inside here, just like that. And then I have an emerald green here. This one I can stick in just like that. And then from this point, I'm just going to make a little spot for it, stick this aloe in, try to push it in as much as I can. And then for the emerald green, I'll add a little bit more soil in just so it stays nice and compact. All right, the second row is just the regular soil. So here's the green giant cutting. Just gonna stick it right in. Nothing fancy with this. And then the emerald green can go right in here. So the last one is this take root rooting hormone. I did read these directions here, but basically what you're supposed to do is you can take a pre-moistened end of an arborvitae or just any plant that you're doing. This one's been sitting in water. You can stick it in the rooting hormone, kind of swish it around, see that it gets nice and coated. Just tap off any extra, and then this is ready to go in soil. This is the green giant one, same process. Try to coat it as much as I can in here. And then I can just tap it off. And then these I can just stick right in. So there's the green giant. Here is the emerald green. Okay, so I was able to finish the rest. I actually did 2 of each. So when you look at this here, emerald green take root, this is the original one I put in, but this is also a take root emerald green, and then vice versa for the rest of these. So I'm going to be experimenting with 2 of each just to really see how well they all do. The last thing I want to do is just water them in once. So I'm just going to use this little thing to water these in just to get them moistened, and then I will use the Growe's seed starting system with the reservoir on the bottom here to keep these moist the rest of the time. For the ones that are in water, I'm just going to keep an eye on the water and change it at least once a week, but if it starts to get gross before then I can just quickly change out that water. Okay, so at this point, it's going to take about a month or 2 for these to root in and to see which ones aren't going to make it. I will be providing an update video once I do know how these do, and the ones that do well, I will uppot them into a larger container and eventually bring them outside. It's January now, but probably around May or June, I can bring these outside and even plant them in the ground if I would like to. With that, I hope you guys liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section down below. And besides that, I will see you in the next one.